Nature is life's most precious getaway. The beautiful trees, crisp leaves, and soft waves are enough to take one's breath away. Nature can also have a very dark side, though. Did you know that there's a lake in this world that houses the remains of humans dating between the 12th and 15th centuries? A natural time capsule. The small lake stands a mere 130 feet wide and 3 meters deep. It is known as Roopkund Lake, or infamously, Skeleton Lake. As the name implies, the enchanted and mystical lake reveals frozen corpses on its edges during the months where the temperature rises just enough for the ice to melt away. The bodies are so well preserved that archaeologists have reported to have extracted bodies that still had their flesh intact, including nails, hair, and even apparel, and other miscellaneous objects such as jewelry and iron spearheads. A whopping 800 bodies are believed to still be hidden in the icy cold sheath, which had remained shrouded for centuries until it was finally discovered by mistake. On September 2nd, 1942, an Indian forest guard by the name of Hari Kishan Madhwal stumbled upon a stack of skeletons in the glacial lake of Uttarakhand, a state located in India, while he was on a plant exhibition. He reported to have discovered the well-preserved remains of hundreds of people. Ever since then, the site has rattled the world of historians, archaeologists, scientists, and commoners around the world when such a shocking discovery was announced to the public in the 1950s. Many theories have emerged as to how these bodies came to be here, and many theories were just that, assumptions based on little to no evidence. For example, the Roopkund victims were believed to be the remains of soldiers who performed self-sacrifice rituals. Some even believed the bodies were that of historical figures, such as Kannauj King Yaslawal, Queen Balampa, and their attendants. To date, the most plausible theory, backed up by scientific reasoning, also happens to eerily mirror an ancient folklore involving hailstones. One of those mythical folklore songs tells the story of goddess Nanda Devi, who, in a fit of rage, causes a massive hailstorm to kill an entire pilgrimage run by King Raja Jaslavala. Due to their celebratory nature, filled with music and dance in what was considered sacred land, the large hailstones shattered down to the ground and nearly impaled everyone to death. The reason why this folklore aligns with science is because archaeologists discovered that some of the frozen corpses had one chilling thing in common: deep cracks the size of cricket balls embedded in each of their skulls, as if they had taken blows to their heads. Given that the bodies showcased this characteristic, it was initially believed that a single isolated event was responsible for the groups of bodies discovered. Death by large hailstones. Hailstones, which is basically ice formed in the sky that comes falling down to earth, is rarely ever deadly. But that's not to say death is impossible. To give an idea of how rare death by hailstones is, consider the fact that in modern times, only 3 people in the United States are reported to have died due to hailstones. Given the location of this lake, how snowy and cold it is not unheard of that hailstones as large as balls can kill humans. But this is just a theory, and the study accepts other plausible causes for their deaths. In 2010, revolutionary technology known as genome sequencing was conducted. 38 samples of bone directly from the morbid yet enchanting site were sent to labs worldwide to analyze this DNA. What scientists discovered was that the remains belonged to 3 distinct groups of people originating from isolated events throughout a 1,000-year period. Now, not too surprisingly, one of the groups consisted primarily of South Asians, tested to be from 800 CE, which is nearly 1,225 years ago from today. The second and third groups of humans consisted of Eastern Mediterraneans and Southeast Asians, dated from 1800 CE. To test these humans, scientists used an array of analysis techniques ranging from ancient DNA, stable isotope dietary reconstruction, radiocarbon dating, and osteological analysis. The Indian origin people made sense. Roopkund Lake area is located directly in India, and it's also currently home to an active pilgrimage trek known as the Nanda Devi Raj pilgrimage. This pilgrimage that honors the goddess Nanda Devi occurs every 12 years, and its origin is thought to have been dated almost as far back as the 8th and 10th centuries. There were no weapons at the site, and thus there was no evidence of there ever being a war. DNA tests reflect that the group of people were males and females of all ages and in overall good health. The study supports the hypothesis that a single isolated event likely caused the death of a group who was most likely taking part in a pilgrimage. The other groups of people who were tested to be of non-Indian origins, namely Mediterranean and East Asian, were very fascinating to me. Who were these people and why did they travel all the way to the Himalayas? Was it for pure adventure or did they have a more serious motive? Regardless of the purpose, the findings of distinct groups of people just goes to show that humans throughout history always cultivated curiosity and the tendency to discover things. There are no boundaries, and the extent to which humans travel to unravel the world is both impressive and admirable, even if it means meeting their end. And speaking of the inevitable end, while the Hailstone theory is in the spotlight and seems the most plausible, it's certainly not the only cause of death for the hundreds of other victims frozen in time. Another theory includes a more innocent and logical cause, the natural elements. And as pretty and serene Lake Roopkund looks on Google Images, actually being in such a remote terrain is certainly a different ballgame. A quick Google search paints a terrifying picture, one that includes steep climbs, high altitude conditions with bitter climates and snow-laden mountains. Trekkers joke that one wrong step can cause them to be one of Roopkund's skeletons. They're not entirely wrong. How do you guys think these victims met death? Do you think it was purely natural? Or do you think something more sinister was at play here? Storing almost 1,000 remains, I believe that there is much more to be discovered and that experts merely just scratched the surface. And finally, this is the final outcome of my drawing, which is also available to purchase using the links in the description below, as well as the comment section of this video. This artwork will be available as a print, which can be used as wall art or anything you desire to beautify and add life to any environment of your choosing. Think home, office, literally anywhere. Let me know what you guys think of the finished product. I think it came out wonderfully for someone who is relatively new to this digital art field. And also, please remember to like, share, and subscribe for more interesting content.